Christ Mass, where the masses are harvested for their energy through the pineal gland, represented by the pine tree, that he, meaning Santa, aka Satan, climbs down the spine of the pine tree to get the gifts of energy, we leave to this mythos that is implied to be a man any man can become, only for the time at which they might jeopardize the rule for the sake of the one that knows the man acting and says, but that's not right, I know this isn't true, you are not this outside of this, and then they say, oh, but darling, you don't know what you're talking about. Don't you remember this, this, and this? And then gaslight the one that tries to fight with the truth that's then weaponized against them, because the one speaking truth cannot find peer-reviewed information by peers who would view that which you have written according to principles both of you have special eyes to see the lies of, and say, oh yeah, that's true, because it's been said that way before. So clearly it must have validity compared to the one that is actually speaking truth. It's a bit insane. But we are in an insane place that has sanity at the fount of what is inwards if we start to see ourselves to be insane. Now, above this overpass, there is someone who has the police blocking off those who are waving flags at an overpass to the traffic coming each way, and they are saying our flag matters. Our issue makes a difference to me. It matters to me, and therefore it needs to matter to you. So I want to feel like I'm doing something by going to wave the flag of a cause that I believe in. Well, Peaceful Inner Warriors United hasn't had a flag because it's not a corporation. But what it is an initiative for those who are willing to do the inner work, to have a support group without needing to have a problem as the currency or ticket in. We have gotten far too used to having to connect through our wounds. If we don't have a problem, we have no currency. We can't be perfect. There's something has to be wrong with us in order to get the attention of someone. There are more flags, and actually, I wanted to start recording after I saw the first one, but now this is 3 of them, all waving the Iraq Free Palestine signs that give context for the flag, because not everyone's familiar with all of the flag names and looks and brands and logos. Because the logos is the logic that we apply because of common syntax, which was the sin of tax that was brought in when we axed the regular Joe man for the sake of a pro who can act as an agent to represent the one who is present to have some fun, except once they are converted into a third party within their own affairs, because that is what the public thing or the res publica is. So regardless of whether it's a republic or empire, we're working with the same devil who lived backwards literally. That's the spelling of the word, which is the spell that you have heard to be a certain way, because that is the BS of belief systems that you subscribed to through the groups that you belonged to. The no-name brand goes by in that moment to make us think that no name is a brand all of its own, because it has been capitalized on by not capitalizing its letters at all, but by placing them together so that we see the no name with the yellow color for the branding, and we say, oh yeah, I love no name products. They taste great and they're less well, I'm more like the qualities or characteristics in this box than that one, so I'm going to say I'm this one, not that one. And we then identify all of what we are to fit into this little box that says, oh, but we're only this, this, and that to make up this label. So that's what I identify as. And entify, etymologically, actually means, from a word stem perspective, I forgot the word because I got wrapped up in the words of our fate or destiny as to when the word is spelt W-Y-R-D for the Nordic expression for fates or destiny. It is time for us to see that we are the ones that we have been waiting for. And I've been saying this for years, but I mean it now at a level I never knew it to be truthful at until now, because when I say we, you, no, we, us, ours, ourself, myself, me, my, mine, I, those first person pronouns allow me to remain the main character in my story, which can also be our story if I keep you, second person, as the first person in our story, therefore telling it together, benefiting from the wisdom gained by each of us through the lived experience that we have had, where the pedal hit the metal and we got to see how our practice had prepared us for the moment that we are in. That's what life is. School teaches us that you prepare and then you write the test. Life teaches you through lessons that prepare you to know what to do in a situation or know what is important information to get you through. Knowing how to ask questions is a very powerful skill set to have in this world where we must learn to reclaim our power by taking up our pen and unchecking the exchequers box, which is the third person pronoun that would move us into a thing to be governed and managed by an agent or representative. We don't need to let the pros identify and deal with the matter when it's our material affairs that are being trespassed on and asked to be an affair by inviting a third party into something that is private between me and the one that I want to do it with. Thank you very much. It's no one else's business, and if it is, I want to know how they're benefiting or profiting, because otherwise there would be no involvement within a private matter. And if there is profit being made, I want to know how I am being profited off. I believe I deserve that much, don't you? Wouldn't you say that if you are being profited off of, you should know where that money is going, to whom, and what are they doing as to why they can get a piece of the pie that my energy is, my time, my effort, attention, and money. Those are my team. And if I seem to be rhyming at a pace you can't keep up with, I want you to breathe as we change lanes. 777. 3 sevens is a spiritual path number because it reminds us to stay aligned to what cannot be seen but can be felt, and therefore we know because we feel it in our heart, where the vision must start. Going back to opening ourselves to the Highlander within us that would stand on high land to gain a better vantage point and then go back and tell the rest who wouldn't come and make the effort to do the journey. We must be the ones who come back and tell them what the Highlanders could see. We must tell the Highlanders what they can see, so we can be the ones who told them what to do and gained jurisdiction over those who dropped a need to be ignited and to have their identity changed. Do you see what I mean? If you do, leave a comment down below to let me know. And if you don't, ask what you didn't get so you can help me see where you fell into a gap. Because I don't know what I don't know, or what you didn't notice, to be able to make it from point A to point B, not hitting C, which is at the bottom B, because we can go back on it unless we try to go direct, and then we cannot get to B. The ones who actually did the thing we came to do, which is to release the heart song of the inner rounds, the part of us that calls for the helm, so we can be directed to where we need to be, so we can meet the ones we need to see, so that we can be the ones who came here to be ourselves fully, and now we get to do that, oh holy, holy, without the holes. So why don't we just be whole? Why don't we just be whole? Why don't we see the whole thing for what it is? Why can't we see that we are the ones who have come to save ourselves? We are the one to save ourselves. If anyone else can, it's us. We can do it, yes we can, it's true. We must just trust ourselves to do our best and try. That's all that you need to do. Because if you try wholeheartedly, you might have some fun too. You can do that if your heart's wholly in it. United goes by now, and I say, come join peaceful inner warriors. United Assembly on Telegram, and let me know that you wanna go on the journey inward. Do you wanna Agata? So both let's try. Be the boy your mom always wanted you to be. And now let's not toy around with our hearts when we could be the ones who saw we're all in this together. It's a backwards cue, question everything frontwards and backwards, and ask why I could see 3 out of 6 characters when I was locked up in patterns and only just could see the king and pawn and the knight. But what I couldn't see is the bishop, queen, and rook. Sounds like the crook took it hook, line, and sinker.